I want to go over how to use your calculator on these problems because as you've looked, I'm sure you've looked at the formula and they are long. And so number 8 here, I've used the numbers from number 8 just so if you wanted to go back and finish the problem, do the rest of the work, this is the problem I'm using out of the 9.1 section. And you can see here what I've done is I have my p hat, so this is the information given in the problem, my p2 hat, and then the formulas. And you can see I've plugged in the formulas because what I want to focus on in this video is how to get this all into your calculator and get the correct answer. Most of you with little work can get all the numbers into it. It's can you get then the right number out of your calculator. And so when I do this here, I need to start within the, and we're doing the confidence interval first because that's what I had up here on top. We need to start within the square root because this is a parenthesis. It's also an exponent. Remember from algebra that the square root is the same as a 1/2 exponent. And so we are going to start in here, and I'm going to start, each one of these is its own little world. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to do 0.83109 times 0.16981. So you'll notice I had to write all these down. I did have to round these. I like to keep lots of decimal places. Usually your answer is going to ask you for 2 to 3 decimal places. You should always keep one more than they want. I like a 5's a good round number. Okay. Then I'm going to divide this by the 318. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do answer plus. So if I just hit the plus, the answer comes up. Parentheses again, and then 0.90884 times 0.09116, end parentheses, divided by my 362, end parenthesis again. So this is what's under the radical, and then I'm going to take the square root. So I'm going to do the square root, and then I'm going to do second negative to get my answer. Then finally, I'm going to do times 0.196. So my E is this 0.05083. So now, to find my confidence interval, I would go back and I would do 0.80319 minus 0.16981, and it's worth probably figuring this out, minus this. So that is the first side. And then I would go and I would do the second one. Oh, that isn't what I want to put in. I'm like, that's huge. Okay, let's try this again. First of all, I'm going to write this down because this is probably how you're going to do this anyways. I have 0.0508. I said 5, right? So 3. Okay, I'm going to try this again. I did my P and my Q. That doesn't help me. 0.83019 minus 0.90884. Okay, so this is my difference. So I'm going to first do that minus my Q hat. So negative 0.129. This is the bottom half of my interval. And then I would take my, not a 7, go back, 7,865 plus 0.05083. And then this negative 0.028 is the top half of my confidence interval. So right there are my two values for my confidence interval. Now, what about my test statistic? Well, same thing here. What I would probably do on this one is I would figure out what 0.87206 times 0.29734. Both of these are the same top, so I'm going to figure that out, and I would probably write that down. So that's 0.11157, because that's going to make my life a little bit easier. So on this one, now remember this right here, this is always 0. So that's just going to go away. So now when I do this, I'm going to start in the bottom, in the parenthesis. I always start with whatever's the biggest. So I'm going to do 0.11157 divided by 318 plus 0.11157 divided by 362. Okay, so that's that part. Then I'm going to take the square root. Okay, then I'm going to do this minus. Now I have this from above, but if you didn't, I would do parenthesis 0.83019 minus point, oh, and I plugged this in wrong. This is 90884.9088. At least this time I caught that. And then second answer. So see that I don't have to copy it down. And my goal is to have to copy and round as little as possible. Obviously in this one you're going to have to do a fair bit. So then my test statistic is negative 3.06. In both these cases you would end up rejecting. But what I wanted to focus on here is the process of getting into your calculator. Order of operations is still king here. And so you have to make sure you're following order of operations because there's a lot of numbers. And if you just plug everything into your calculator is going to screw it up. Do it in chunks. Make sure you're using lots of parentheses. Write things down if you need to, if you can't carry it through. You'll notice I was writing some stuff down. I usually go through and find all the P and Q hats, all the P and Q bars, write all those down, and then put it into my calculator from there. Sometimes I find out what P bar times Q bar this top is as well because I know that can help me.